Hello, hello, beautiful people. I am so excited to run another interview with an incredible author. Welcome to my channel. Today, I have the honor to invite an incredible woman who has written about her life till the moment she started discovering herself. My name is Laura Gotz. I am a doctor and an author coach, and I help other people realize a dream and finally publish what they want to share with the world. Today, I am going back to my native country of Romania, where I have met the most amazing person. She is also a coach, and she didn't want to publish a coaching book for the beginning. She wanted to publish her life, to be completely honest about what has happened to her in order to help other women and other men, of course, to express their feelings. I'm welcoming Diana Mereu from Bucharest. Hello, Diana. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for your kind words. It was very nice to hear them coming from you, a person that I appreciate so much. So thank you.
It was an honor to work with you on your project, and I would like to tell the audience that the book launch was this October, just at the beginning on the 6th, and it is already in paperback and in hardback and as an ebook, and you can also have it in audio soon. So women who are interested can order it on your website. I'm going to just publish it a little bit here so you guys can check out the book. It has been amazing to work with all the professionals who have done the design and the editing and all the other aspects that imply book publishing. Now, I would like to ask a couple of questions to Diana, and you guys will get to know her more. And I do hope that she inspires you to do the same, to be honest about your feelings, and who knows, maybe even publish them to a broader audience so you in turn can help other people. So, Diana, I know quite a lot about you, but I would like you to share what you think is most important for your audience to know.
Well, I don't think this is the easiest thing to share. We usually leave the I at the end. So it's less things that we share about us and more that we share about others. So the who question is really the hardest one to answer, in my opinion. But to only name one thing that I think would be relevant for today's conversation and for our audience is that I'm a writer, as you said, born Romanian, writing lyrics in English, disguising in a way vulnerability as humor.
Wow, that was like a very great summary for who are you as an author. So this is great, like really know, okay, who am I in this certain situation? And I am so happy that the audience they got the big picture when we are talking about this world of books and the world of publishing and talking to authors. Um, the book is poetry, and I know coming from this background, that people do not really read poetry today. So if you ask young people, they would say no, this is not happening. At the most, they will read like a novel, and that's it. So it was very brave of you to say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to write poetry. And not only that, I see your book as a sort of a manifest to who you really are. So tell us a little bit about, how did you come in contact with poetry, and how did poetry come into your life, and why did you choose to write in this sort of style?
Sure. Yeah, I think it's not necessarily the most spreaded or common style in which to write nowadays. And to be more specific to address your question, I don't think there was like a specific moment in time for poetry to come into my life, but it clearly detached from other styles as I found it more personal, more balanced, and more profound, which I do hope for the readers as well. And actually, it was 6 years ago that I started the journaling about life, about experiences, about romance. So any ideas that were coming to me, they were coming actually in rhymes. So I decided to put them on paper as they were unfolding in front of me. And the truth is that the reflection of my reality back then is transposed pretty accurate to the lyrics, given that it suffered, as you might already know, little to no adjustment when published. So it is pretty much of an accurate reflection of the reality. And I do want to thank you for also supporting me in this endeavor.
Thank you back. It was an incredible project, and I would like to talk about the title because this was something that really impressed me when we started working on the project. As you guys can see, it is called On the Lookout, and if we do not explain it a little bit, the people will be like wondering, okay, what is happening here? They wouldn't really know that it is a poetry on the lookout for the better half. I really liked how you played with the words, and that it is actually a manifest to your growth as a woman and expressing your journey as a young woman looking for the better half. Um, Before I give more spoilers, I think maybe we should I should let you explain the title of the book and how did this book, On the Lookout for the Better Half, just came into into action. How did this came and turned into an incredible project?
Yeah, actually, on the lookout means you being on a search for something or someone. And from my experience, I understood that I was on the lookout for actually was in the end to be found within myself. So while looking for the better half, I actually found the better self. So it began its journaling exercise in rhymes, as I mentioned before, and it combines the romance with the sarcasm of the lyrics. But in the end, it developed into an introspection exercise once my personal journey took off from a more spiritual and self aware perspective.
I was just looking again at the cover, and I was wondering if you have a copy of it right now, so you can just show it a little bit to the audience. Ah, it is like amazing, that great design. Because I would like to ask you at one point to read one of your poems that I really liked, so the audience gets like an idea of how you write, and also to read the little bit of manifest that is attached to each poem, a little bit of introspection that you wrote after you explained yourself in rhyme, and then what you actually wanted to say or other feelings that were coming out when you were trying to write. I would like to ask you, like, very short, what was the purpose of this book? Because you didn't write it just for yourself, you wanted to make something more of it. So I'm just curious, like, in a couple of words, what is the purpose on the lookout?
Well, actually, first I did write it for myself until I met you, and then I realized it can reach a broader audience with this message. So it was, in a way, an act of bravery to put it out there, because initially it had no other purpose than to help me understand and regulate my emotions. And only along the way, it made me realize that it helps me to remain present and ground myself. So it ended as an emotional catharsis, let's put it like that, once I have reached the reflection part. That I do hope will reach not necessarily many souls and hearts, but also minds.
I am pretty sure it will, and I know that it will change a lot of perspectives. because especially as women, we are taught, that there's this perfect love and how we should act and how we should see the partner, and that we should dream about our future. But then reality hits, relationship hit, and then you start to think about it and really question what is happening. But I do think that this is like very honest what you've written there and how you felt, and of course all of the emotions that you had when you struggled with this sort of, let's say, imposed perfections, what society expects of relationship. So that would be a great basis also for the second book that is coming out, right? Explaining what you have learned over the years, and how strong you've become after this experience. So ladies, especially ladies, but of course also men, because men also suffer from in love. Yeah, I encourage you to read this, make your own opinions, and then try to adapt them in your life. Now, Diana did a great thing. She said, okay, I feel this and I want to put it on words. Not everybody has to do that. We are all different people, but I do believe emotions is like something universal. Everybody has it. So some people write, some people read, and this is how we help each other develop. Now, writing is not easy. I say this as an author. I say this as an author coach, having coached even children and to 6-year-olds. It is always a challenge for the author, especially a debutante, to open up. So tell the audience, tell people who would like to start writing, what are the challenges that you faced along the way?
Well, first of all, I had an amazing coach that guided me through the process. So, therefore, not that many challenges when it comes to the writing part. But the actual challenge was the introspection part, as it forced me to relive experiences from the past and kind of see them with different eyes. And the book is just about that, a perception shift. So, it was a positive challenge though, because it showed me how much I have outgrown myself for the past years and how much of a transformation I have gone through as a woman, and the priority shift that happened inside of me once I got more in touch with my own values. And what you mentioned at the beginning, I think I resonate a lot with that, because it's not something that happens only with us women. It can happen with men, it can happen with anyone, no matter of the gender, because it's about emotions, and emotions go beyond the even the human body.
And the most amazing thing that you can experience in our lifetime are emotions. Yeah, we see the world through emotions. Yeah, everything that we encounter has to, obtain a reaction from us. Either, we could just be be dead. And this is actually the magic of poetry. So again, for people who are really poetry readers, I encourage you to, start reading poetry now, because as children we had to do this and we didn't really like it because maybe it wasn't our style. But now we can choose, and I encourage you, Rick, really pick up like a poetry book if you want romance or if you want something dark, and see the magic that it brings, and then your life will be better for it. We have talked about reactions right now, and you had a launch, and then you had an online launch, and now you're doing live events with your book all over. Yeah, you're connecting with people all over the world. I would like to know, what were like the best reactions that you got to this book, family and friends, and who knows, maybe some of the exes you have somehow mentioned in your book.
Sure. I would like to start actually with something that I have read recently, and it's about authors and how we refer to the ones that are reading whatever we are writing. And in general, we use the terminology of audience, but actually there is no audience when we talk with our readers, because we kind of address each and every one of them individually. So I would like to refer to them as one, and talk even through this kind of virtual encounters as if I would stand face to face with one of them. And it was very lovely to see how differently people receive this book, depending on their reality and on their experiences. Some of them found themselves more in the whirlwind of emotions as depicted from the poems, and others in the deepness of the introspections. And because you challenged me here in a way, it was also funny to get different reactions from my exes. And those also varied from like a total relief to a great disappointment when not finding themselves necessarily within the pages of the book.
Yeah, well, maybe not all of them left a long-lasting impression. And it is true that there are just some things in life, some moments in life that define us and that change our life. They can be good or bad. Hopefully, like it all depends on how we perceive it, what sort of a sense we give it, and you turned everything into an amazing project, right? So this is what it means to take all of your experiences and wrap them up into something nice and tell them this is what made me. It hasn't been bad. It's everything that has helped me be the amazing person that I am today. Yeah, so again, that is why I'm very excited about the second book. So guys, there will be a second one. Then you will show that you will see the transformation from the young girl who was in love, who had all of these expectations, and then the mature woman who knows who she is and knows what she wants. So I'm very curious about that. Before we go, before we go to the next question, how about Diana? You open up the book at
Sure.
the sixth poem, and then you can read it all, or just a half of it, and then what you wrote in the manifest, so that the people get an idea about the book.
Sure. Why the sixth poem? I mean, what's with the sixth poem? What
For
what
me,
spurred?
for me it was the favorite one. Of course, there were others too who had a little bit more emotions, but it was something that for me it was like, okay, this is very interesting, as also like a book critic, like a poetry critic,
Hmm.
and I really wanted to the people to get to know how you write, because it is actually the style that you are having throughout the book. And then they know, okay, so this is for me. It's nothing complicated. They will get everything that you're trying to say.
Sure. Thank you so much. So I think you're referring to One of a Kind. Super. One of a kind. Fancy trousers, playful smile. Been a playboy for a while. Stealing hearts and acting wild. Though inside he was a child. Protective armor, king of hearts. He graduated from a master of fine arts. He works his skills with divine grace and always wears his poker face. He's not to tame, but left in the jungle. Then he will learn about the true struggle. Then he will see with his own eyes how meaningful moments come in disguise. And as you mentioned, indeed, each and every poem is accompanied by an introspection. And this, in a way, reflects the patterns um, that I was attracted to from a relationship point of view. So, with your permission, I shall read that part as well. If you see a pattern already, that's because there is one. I was so attracted to unavailable men, and I thought that through my superwoman lenses, I could see the beauty of the soul that lies so well hidden underneath their armor. It took me a while to realize that sometimes the armor is there because actually there is nothing else to be discovered beneath, and it just protects them from further degradation. It applies to all of us, actually. The only way forward is through, and that comes with vulnerability.
So I hope everybody heard that, the lyrics, and then the manifest to it, the introspection. And I do hope that this opens the eyes of women so they're like, ah, okay, now I get it. It is also, I tell some people, I told some friends about the book so they can check it out. And I told the women, this is also a personal development book because you are also a coach. You cannot rip that out of you when you write. And this is exactly what poetry is trying to do, is trying to put a light on some issues. And what you are doing is actually, highlighting um, parts of society, of human behavior. And of course, we're talking now about relationships. And when we are coaching and we are talking to other women, other men who have gone through these troubles in life, yeah, we know sentimental, then it is good to pin out some very important aspects. For example, recognizing patterns, and then you can heal yourself. Even you can try to avoid them and even find your soulmate that we are constantly talking about. So thank you again, Diana, for reciting this.
Thank
And I
you.
really love it. It was something so like huge. Like, look at this woman. She recognized, she saw, behind the curtain, behind the armor of this person. And at one point, you're not disappointed that person is shallow. You are sort of relieved. You're like, oh, okay, that's why it didn't work out. um, like I said, there's a lot of healing behind that. So we talked about how amazing this book is, and I hope we have encouraged a couple of people to give it a shot and read it, and also recommend it to their friends. Why do you think, as an author, you've put your heart and soul into it? Why do you think women and men and like all sorts of people should read On the Lookout for the Better Half?
Well, what first comes to mind is that the book gets one to be more in tune with themselves. Once allowing this process of self-awareness to develop, the book becomes an amazing guide towards the discovery of the authentic self. So, should this book serve anyone to move themselves from outside focus to inner attention, either through the rhymeful lyrics or the introspection tool provided, my high purpose is achieved.
Exactly like what every author wants, to move other people so that the work has meaning. Because yeah, we write it at the beginning for ourselves, but that's why we set it out into the world so we can make good out of it. And I'm telling the people, you don't have to order the book from Diana because she's in Romania. If you are in the States, you can order it without any problem on Amazon. Comes in paperback, hardback, ebook, and also soon an audio version, so you can listen to it in the car and really transform yourself then. Um, how about what do people get when they go and visit your website? I'm gonna leave it here, dianamedeo.com. What will the people get if they order from your website or when they contact you to talk about the book? Do you have any other special deal for them? Do you send autographs or something special so the audience know how to get in contact with the book and how to get in contact with you?
Sure. If you can also scroll through the website, I think that could give people a glimpse on what they find there. Because actually, what I'm doing there is redirect them to the Amazon page, because this is mostly a page, dianamedeo.com, in which you can find details about the book, either by listening to an excerpt from it, read by me, either by reading testimonials from other people who have already had the chance to read the book. And once purchased on Amazon, as Laura mentioned, in Kindle, paperback, hardcover format, and even soon to be audiobook. So, in whatever format of your choice you purchase it on Amazon, then you can input here on the website the order number. So, having that in mind, once you do so, you will access free bonus workshops on the website. This will become available on December 1st, and I think Laura is already showing you what are the topics on which these workshops are around. And actually, they are on topics and themes that find themselves in the book. Either if we talk about mindset or about relationships or personal growth, these themes are to be found within the book. So the steps are pretty simple, and this is sort of a more detailed understanding on how you can have one copy in your pocket. So you just go on Amazon, look it up under the book name or under the author name, in order not to miss the chance to order it. And because I think it's almost holiday season, I bet it can be an amazing gift for your family and friends.
I really love how you did all of this, Diana. So congratulations again on publishing your book. Like, I think the audience is already seeing that it's a lot of work behind this, because if you do something with your heart and soul, it cannot end up anything else but amazing. Yeah. And this is how you grow. When you step out of your comfort zone, you do something completely new. Yeah, it was a 2021 project, and look, at the end of 2021 you have this great thing going on, and you are also helping other people with your courses and changing lives. This is also my mission, to help as many women transform and be happier and healthier. And you are definitely doing that. And we are definitely doing this together. So Diana, thank you very much for accepting this interview with me. I really enjoy every time when we talk about it. And I know that we have this wish, like together, to change the world for the better. Are there any last words from you for this interview?
Well, to thank you. I think it's been amazing to have you along with me in this journey, and I will just let people to discover what it is about, because I think the book in itself, as I have it here, is pretty much disclosing. So I will let everyone discover it and adapt it at their own feelings, at their own understanding, at their own knowledge.
And
Thank you
maybe
so much.
this is the book that will let people know that poetry is a great way to spend your time, like reading poetry and letting yourself feel these amazing feelings. And who knows, maybe we'll have even more authors in our group that get inspired by your story. Thank you again, Diana, for meeting with me, for having the energy and having, the trust in yourself, the self-confidence to do such a project. It has turned out amazing. I am very, very proud of you. And I hope we work together again on the second project. Take your time, because personal growth takes time, but I'm sure it will be as amazing as this project. So
Thank
thank
you
you
so much.
guys for watching. I am Dr. Laura Gotz with author Dana Mero from Bucharest, Romania. We have talked about the amazing book On the Lookout for the Better Self that you can also find on Amazon in different types of formats. Just let us know if you want to get into contact with me and Diana. All our infos are going to be in the details section of the video. I'm wishing you all an incredible evening, an incredible life. Stay happy and healthy. Bye.